Thank you for tuning in. This is the new Pan-African show called AfreeQa with your host Qetselaworq Seifu. Today we are in, obviously we've given it away with the name tag, but I will let her introduce herself and say thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the Embassy of the Republic of Namibia. My name is Emilia Mkusa, and I'm the Namibian ambassador accredited to Ethiopia, as well as the African Union, UNECA, Djibouti, South Sudan, as well as Sudan. So I have been Namibia's ambassador for the past 3.5 years in Ethiopia, and the ride has been good so far. It is unfortunate that most of the activities were slowed down due to the COVID pandemic.
So I will start with, would you like me to call you Ambassador Emilia or Madame?
Emilia.
Emilia, okay. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you felt and what came to your mind when you were actually assigned to Ethiopia?
Well, very interesting because I've been with the public service for the past 32 years. 18 of them with the Ministry of International Relations, and 14 of that with Parliament. So having dealt with international relations and Parliament, I look at them doing the same kind of work, although each with a different mandate. But the interesting one was because I was at Parliament when I was appointed as ambassador to Ethiopia. It was quite a surprising one, number one. Number two, I say to myself, I've never been to Ethiopia, and I have now to advance Namibia's position in Ethiopia at the African Union, and then also strengthen Namibia's bilateral relations with Ethiopia.
How did Namibia get the name? And what is Namibia known for and rich in?
Namibia's name, as you know, that the oldest desert is called the Namib Desert, and it is located in Namibia. And it's a name that was proposed at the time by Professor Mburumba Kerina. He is late now. And at the time, he was suggesting for the country to be called Republic of Namib. But then in 1974, the United Nations decided on Republic of Namibia. So it was a proposal that was given by one of Namibia's sons who have been out there for so many years fighting for the independence of Namibia. And that's how the name Namibia came, because it means vast open space. So Namibia is a country with vast open spaces. Namibia is rich in different minerals. We have diamonds, we have uranium, we have gold, we have copper, and that's just part of the minerals. But Namibia is also rich in its culture. We have 11 ethnic groups. And within those ethnic groups, each one of them have got their own culture. So the culture is very rich. And of course, it is known for its vast open spaces, the beautiful picturesque pictures that you can get of Namibia, of course the desert, the Kalahari Desert, as well as the Namib Desert. You have different tourist sites that you can visit. Particularly if you start in the south, you have the Fish River Canyon, which is the second largest in the world. They say the biggest in Africa. Wow. That is in the south. And of course, again in the south, the coastline, you have Cape Cross, where you find a big number of Cape seals. And in the west coast, you find the desert elephants. But not only desert elephants, but desert animals, wild animals that have adapted to the desert. Wow. The harsh conditions that we have in Namibia, they have adapted to that. And then we have the Sandwich Harbour. You know, the pictures that you see on postcards of Namibia, when you travel to the Sandwich Harbour, you will be able to experience it yourself. And then also in the northwestern side is where you also find the rock paintings, which is a UNESCO heritage site now. You find the rock paintings, and if you continue on to the north is where you find the Etosha National Park. And I must say the Etosha National Park, the pen in the national park can be seen from up there in the sky.
Oh.
Yes, that's how big it is. And of course, on the eastern side of the country, northeastern side, is where you have the Zambezi River and the Kavango rivers. Again, a lot of game and conservancies that are run by the nationals themselves. It's a project of the Ministry of Tourism. Okay. The conservancies generate funds for the people who live alongside the wild animals. So when tourists come, this is run by the locals themselves, and they plow back what they get into their communities.
Why do they say Namibia is Africa's underrated country?
Namibia is Africa's underrated country because of its landscape. Not many people know about that. People hear about Namibia with its small population of 2.5 million people, but it is a country of 825,000 square kilometers, by the way, with 2 deserts, and you have the most beautiful picturesques that you can find. It has all the resources that you can find there. Fishing, by the way, we export a lot of fish. We have a small town. I think if you are a tourist in Namibia and you travel to the south of the country, it's impossible not to stop by a small town called Kolmanskop. It's called a ghost town. And that is where you will see the wonders of land, where the desert is reclaiming its position, because it was a small diamond town, but over the years the desert have reclaimed it, and it's called a ghost town now. Okay. So in the game you will find all types of wild animals, and these wild animals live alongside with the people of Namibia. It's not easy, and you need to understand how they live in order for you to respect their space.
Exactly.
And they respect the space of people, yes.
That's beautiful. So you did mention to us how many cultures there are in Namibia. Mm-hmm. So you said there were 11.
Yes.
So out of the 11 cultures, how many languages are spoken?
We have 13 languages, but within the languages they have different dialects. They have different dialects. Like, for example, I'm from the Ovambo tribe or culture, but we have within the Ovambo tribe we have 8 different dialects. If I'm not mistaken, it's 8 different dialects, but you also have if you have the Nama and the Damara, they also speak the Clicks, but it's just in the dialect that it's different. Okay. So too, the San community also have different dialects within themselves.
Okay. So I was just going to ask you about the Sans. Can you tell us about the San, Samaria, and Nama people? Is it Samara?
It's Damara.
Oh, it's Damara, not
people.
even Samara.
Yes,
okay.
The San community are the people that came first into Namibia. Okay. You will find the San communities in South Africa, Botswana, and few of them in Angola. But as I said, they speak different dialects, and they are the hunters. They are the hunting people. They are not extinct. There are very few of them. However, after independence, the government made sure that they are integrated within the rest of the population, in capacity building and resources have been put together to make sure that they are integrated into the system. And even within the Office of the Prime Minister, you will find that the government have put an office specifically for the San communities to make sure that they are not marginalized and so on. While the Damara people and the Nama people are from the south and the Damara people are from the west. Although they speak the same language, there's a small difference in the dialect. And of course, the Nama people were the people who fought against the Germans.
What happened between 1904 and 1908?
1904 and between 1904 and 1908 is when the genocide happens. Of course, that was committed by the Germans, where I think it's General van Trotta who gave the order for extermination of the Nama and the Herero people. Today, the two governments are talking about it, and Germany have offered to compensate, to pay reparations towards the affected communities, not directly to them, but for the communities to benefit all. But it's a discussion that is currently ongoing.
So they haven't settled yet?
The affected communities are still looking at whether the offer that was put on the table, is it to be accepted or not to be accepted. So it's not yet concluded.
Concluded?
Yes.
Okay. It's said Namibia has managed to develop a mining industry free of conflicts, extortion and murder. How clean are your diamonds?
I would say our diamonds are clean. After independence, Namibia became a member of the Kimberley process, which of course we all know is the one that is regulating the diamond industry. So our diamonds are quite clean.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yes. Tourism is one of the major contributors to Namibia's GDP. How have you been affected by the virus, by the coronavirus?
The tourism industry have been affected very badly, particularly the fact that there was lockdowns. You know, Namibia had 2 cases of COVID and the president locked down the country.
Wow.
And we had a state of emergency. As a result, the tourist industry was badly affected. We already have a high rate of unemployment, and this also contributed to an increase in the unemployment of those who were employed. The fact that the country was in lockdown, no tourists could come in, and also the movement of the citizens themselves was also limited in terms of becoming a tourist in your own country. So it was badly affected. But now that just 2 weeks ago, the country is now completely open, and even if you travel to Namibia and you are vaccinated, you don't need a PCR test anymore, a negative PCR test, as long as you are vaccinated.
But you have to be vaccinated?
No, you don't have to be, because if you are not vaccinated, then you have to have a negative test.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you think you can get out of the situation that you are in due to the COVID? You know, you have the lockdown, 2 years. How is it possible? I know slowly, somehow it will get back to normal, but are there anything special that you guys are doing in order to get things rolling faster? For the unemployment especially?
That is a $1 million question. Unemployment was already high, particularly among the youth. And there are not a lot of job offers. That is number one. A country with 2.5 million people, the public service is the biggest employer. So it is very, very difficult to employ everybody within the government. The private sector, themselves have been affected also. So it's very difficult. So it's more looking at what individuals can do and how they can be assisted. There are different programs Ministry of Finance have rolled out, but to encourage entrepreneurship, but startup capitals, it needs to be discussed. It's an ongoing discussion that is currently there, and it's difficult. It will take time to recover. Yes.
I guess all of us, when you see the whole of Africa actually has suffered, so we slowly have to help ourselves, I guess. How supportive is the government toward preserving indigenous music and cultures?
The government has been supportive, I must say, since independence, because within our Ministry of Education, there is a component of arts and culture. There is a Department of Arts and Culture that is responsible in promoting a traditional indigenous music, arts and culture. And this you can see that at every official function, the Ministry of Arts and Culture will make sure that the performance that is taking place there is from the different cultural groupings, not just one group, but they all register with the ministry and they all get an opportunity to perform at all official functions where there are where they need some performances, it is there. And also we have a Heritage Act in place of 2004, which makes provision for the preservation of our heritage. And also we have the College of the Arts, which is taking care of that. And these performers, they are being taken through, of course, the different arts, the different languages and instruments and so on. And then also the National Theatre of Arts. It's all funded by government. It's not privately funded, but it's all funded by government towards the preservation of arts and culture.
So while I was reading about Namibia, I came across the Living Museum. And I kept reading and reading, and I couldn't imagine it in my head. So my next question is, can you tell us a little bit about the Living Museum?
Yes, there are actually a couple of them in the country. We have different living museums for the San community. The San community used to be called the Bushmans before independence, and now they are called the San community. We have a living museum for the Damara community. We have, I think, the Mafwe community, and in the Kavango regions also, in the Himbas. So basically, as you are touring the country, because they are coming from different areas of the country, as you are touring the country and you go and visit one of these living museums, you will be able to understand their culture from being a baby up to an adulthood. What do they do? What do they eat? How do they hunt? So they give you, it's a play. They normally have plays. You go there, you visit, you sit down, and they take you through the process of how do they actually grow up? What do they eat? What do they do? How do they hunt? And also sharing with them within the Living Museum, you will find the cultural artifacts of their culture.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
You really get to know them
And they
that
are
way.
all registered with the Ministry of Tourism.
Wow.
Yeah.
My next question is Skeleton Coast.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Skeleton Coast.
The history of the Skeleton Coast is that apparently there was a lot of whales that got stranded there and they died there. And so there were so many skeletons of the whales. And because of the harsh condition of the sea, so many boats and ships also sank there. So when you go there, you will find old wrecks of ships and a few skeletons lying there. That's where the name Skeleton Coast comes from.
Okay.
But if you go there, they have a big seal colony. Namibia have got a very, very big seal colony.
What are the top tourist destinations people love doing in Namibia? Now we're trying to sell Namibia to our audience.
Absolutely. I must say the top one is Sources Flay. It's called Sources Flay. This is where you find the dunes, different types of dunes. And by the way, Namibia has the highest dunes in the world. There is one called Dune 7 at the coastal town of Walfish Bay. I have attempted it, and only on the 4th time that I managed to get at the top. So it's high. You have the Big Daddy that is at Sources Flay, and also the Dead Flay. The Dead Flay is clay in the middle of the dunes. And they have skeletons of trees that are standing there. Those trees are dead, but it's a beautiful picture, and I'm sure if you find out what Dead Flay is and you look at that picture, you will be wondering, is this really in the desert? Wow. That is one. And then of course the Fish River Canyon, which is in the south, the largest in Africa. The Etosha National Park, where you find the Big Five and many other more wild animals. We have the black rhino and we have the white rhino. So we have a lot of wild animals. And of course the pen, as I said, it's a salt pen that can be seen from the sky if you go up there. And then you have open space. Namibia has vast open spaces. In the south, really, as I said, our ghost town, Kolmanskop, on your way to Lüderitz. In Lüderitz is where you find the Cape Cross. And in the east, you have the Kalahari Desert, which we share with Botswana.
Wow. It sounds like a beautiful country. You've like painted this picture skew on my, in my, how do you say it, in my mind's eye. So I'm trying to look at the dune, the tree, the ghost town.
It is. And when you go to the dunes, you will find the desert elephants and lions that have adapted to the situation in the desert. And of course, the most important one is our Welwitschia plant. The Welwitschia plant it doesn't die.
Grows in the desert?
It grows in the desert. It grows very slow. And if you find a big one, it means it is more than 2,000 years old. Wow. It's a very old plant. It's one of our national plants, actually, called the Welwitschia mirabilis.
That's beautiful. Where, Madame Emilia, we have come to the end of our conversation. If there's anything more that you would like to tell our audience, I will give you.
Surely. I would like to see more of my Ethiopian brothers and sisters visiting Namibia. When you have time, I think we do not think that we can be tourists in Africa. And I think Africa has so much to offer. And Namibians are friendly people. They will welcome you. Although the conditions, harsh weather conditions might sound very bad, it is actually very beautiful. So you have different conditions in one day, particularly if you go to the coast. Experience the Atlantic Ocean in Namibia. We offer a lot. We grow our own oysters on the Atlantic Ocean, so it will be a very good opportunity to see more Ethiopians traveling to Namibia. They can just approach our embassy for tourist visas. Within 1 week, we issue those visas to everybody who is really interested in exploring Namibia.
Brilliant. And I think Ethiopian Airlines also flies more now, right?
Ethiopian Airlines flies 5 times a week to Namibia. So it's 4.5 excuse. 4.5 hour flight, no excuse. Perfect. Direct flight.
Okay, so you've heard Namibia has invited our Ethiopian brothers and sisters to Namibia. Please go and visit Namibia. Thank you very much for tuning in and staying with us on Arts TV Africa program. See you next week.